Joan-Marie Domino here from Decoupage Rocket Girls, and I got a request from Rocks Across America to do a St. Patrick's Day video challenge using the decoupage technique. So if you're a rock painter, now is your chance to learn another way to decorate your rocks. So definitely accept this challenge. So decoupage means adhering or gluing papers to an object, and our objects are rocks, and I have chosen an array of papers. We're going to use notebook paper, scrapbook paper, and even paper napkins. We're going to use these things to glue onto rocks. So let's get started with what you need. Saran wrap, rocks that are clean and dry, paintbrushes, paint, scissor, waterproof pens, decoupage glue, and if you don't have decoupage glue, you can make your own using regular white glue, 1 cup of glue to 1/3 cup of water, and then just shake it together, and now you're ready to go. A little bit of water, paper punches, and a sealant. Okay, so I'm going to start with this rock, and it's a gold rock, you know, for St. Patrick's Day. We have our pot of gold. I'm going to show you really quick how to make your own paper shamrocks. So this is a heart punch out, and you just put it here on the crease. It's like a half a heart, and you trace it, and then you turn it this way so it's pointing towards the fold, and you trace it, and then you just want to cut a little bit for a stem, and when you open it, there you go. You have a shamrock. Okay, so let's put on this first shamrock on the rock, and I'm going to use some glue, and I'm going to put a fairly thin layer of glue on top of the rock, like this. And I'm going to take the shamrock, and I'm going to press it down on the paper. Make sure it's flat and the whole thing is adhered. There you go, and you put that aside to dry. Okay, the next one I actually used my own paper that I made, rainbow paper. I took regular notebook paper, and I just did little stripes with acrylic paint following each line, and then I just tore it to fit my different rocks. So with this one, I tore it to fit the rock, and I wrote little words for St. Patrick's Day, like Irish, luck, fun, gold, music, clover, all those fun words. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take some glue, put it on the rock. I'm going to take my little piece of rainbow paper, and I'm going to put it down. I'm just going to press it down. See, it's important that the writing was done with the waterproof pen because you don't want it to run. Okay, there you go. So that's our second rock. Now, the third rock, we're going to get a little bit tougher in the techniques. We're going to use paper napkins. Now, when we use paper napkins to put them onto rocks, we only use the very top layer. It's nice and thin, and it looks really good once you put it onto the rock. So here's a challenge in itself, which is to separate all those back layers from that top layer of a napkin. Okay, so let's start with the butterfly. I cut the green butterfly for St. Patrick's Day, and I cut it out exactly because it was easy to cut out. So we're going to take some glue. We're going to put it onto the rock, and then we're going to take our butterfly and put it right there in the middle. And we're going to press it down with our fingers very gently because, you know, it's just the top layer of the napkin, so it's kind of fragile. Okay? And there you go. It looks very nice, and we'll put that aside to dry. Now, the next one is going to be even a little harder than that. I want to use a bigger image to put on this next rock, and I can't cut it out like I did with that. So I have to use a different method, which is called a Deco Edge, and it looks like this. And the reason I do a Deco Edge is because once I glue it onto the rock, the edge blends in with the rock, and it really looks nice. And this is pretty easy to do. You're going to take water on a brush, and I'm going for this little door here so you can see. And I'm just going to go like this, just roughly put the water, and then I'm going to just use my fingers to pick around the napkin until I've created this really nice frayed deckled edge like this one. Okay, so now we're going to take our rock, and we're going to put a little bit of glue on it, like this, just a little. I'm going to put glue on the napkin also before I put it onto the rock. Okay, So now I'm going to get a piece of saran wrap. That's right, this is where the saran wrap part comes in. I'm going to take this lovely napkin, and this is a cottage. It kind of reminded me of Ireland, so that's why I picked it. I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to take my glue again, start from the center, and just work your way out to the edge. You don't need to use a whole lot of glue. Sometimes I'm a little heavy-handed, and I'm like, why am I doing that? You don't need to have a lot. Okay. There we go. Just about done. Now we're going to take the rock and the napkin, which, as you can see, it's going to stay on that piece of plastic. It's glued on there pretty good. Now we want to put it onto the rock. So line it up the best you can. And now you're going to use your fingers and the saran wrap to smooth the napkin down. I'm trying to get it to adhere well. I want to make sure I don't have any wrinkles. So I'm pulling and I'm just pushing the napkin down. And you don't have to worry about anything happening to the napkin, because this piece of saran wrap is going to protect it. I love this method. I think it really makes the napkin adhere so well. Okay, we should be ready. Yep, there you go. And then if you have any frayed edges, actually this one is good, it just came right off. You can just smooth them down with the saran wrap. And don't touch that napkin because it is really fragile now. And there you go. There's our little Irish cottage. That looks really nice. All right, so having used these napkins, I want you to know that you don't have to just do it for St. Patrick's Day. Obviously, you can use them for any holidays or any napkins that you like, just like I did here. So, of course, once you learn the method, you can use it for all different holidays. Okay, now, just because this is decoupage doesn't mean you can leave your rock painting behind, but of course you can add it to your rocks. This is a little door from that same napkin, and then I just added paint to it to try to make it look kind of like a fairy door. You can also do dotting like I have done here, and you can use things that you have at home to do that. You can use the end of a pencil. This is actually a shish kebab stick, and you can use that, and it makes really good dots. This is a burnisher or scorer, and it has 2 different size balls, so you're just dipping it into paint and you're adding dots like that. Okay, so once you have your rocks just the way you want it and everything is dry, you want to add another layer of your decoupage glue. So you just take your rock and again go into your glue and just put a nice thin layer on top. So this really protects the paper and the pen that you used on the paper from running, because sometimes when you spray them that happens. So definitely remember to do your layer of decoupage glue on top. So once that's done, now you want to use a protected sealant. Sealants, the kind that we use are the kind you use outside. They're weather resistant, and just like painted rocks, the papers that we put on decoupage will stay on the rocks, but you still have to use a sealant, and you're fine to go ahead and hide them outside just like you do your painted rocks. So I hope you enjoyed my video, and you're going to take part in that St. Patrick's Day challenge using a decoupage technique. And I have to tell you, it's been a real pleasure making this video for you. To see more decoupage videos, you can go to my YouTube channel, Joan-Marie Domino, and subscribe. You can join our Facebook tutorial page and learn more about decoupaging, Decoupage Rocket Girls. And thank you for watching my video.